Joining us is Nancy Wozniak, Learning Architect within the TLT Faculty Center. Welcome, Nancy.
Welcome, thank you.
So we've talked about using portfolios for assessment. What other uses can they be applied to?
Jean hit on all three of the categories. First and foremost is that showcase category where you are collecting artifacts of your best work. It's a demonstration that your resume, your CV, what is on there is true.
And that would be used for employers and potential employers and so on?
Exactly, and it's not just for students. Teaching portfolios. I have a teaching portfolio, and every educator should have a teaching portfolio. And there you would have your teaching philosophy, your syllabi, maybe notes, thank you notes from your students, your CVs on there, different PowerPoints, multimedia that you're using. But the key thing is that teaching portfolio is a point of reference, of reflection, and that's what portfolios are all about.
So they're not just to show to other people, they're in a way to show to yourself, so that you think about what you've done.
Absolutely. If you look at my portfolio, you see work that I did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that I've put up in an electronic format. And I look back, even my thesis, my master's thesis problem is on there. And it inspires me. I read it again and say, where am I going with this? Have I forgotten this? It's a point of reflection for me.
Okay. So you're talking that, so there's an portfolio is used for assessment, for showcase. Are there other categories?
Jean was talking about developmental, and that's program, institutional. So when a student starts at Stony Brook, or when a student starts, let's say, the MBA program, because I know the MBA people are interested in this, that student will be collecting artifacts of his or her work. And it's based on the learning objectives. By the time I finish this degree, I will have accomplished, or I can demonstrate these skills.
So and that would have a prescribed content for some reason that would, you know, to get a degree, here are all the things that need to be included in this, and when they're in there, you're done.
But still, you're still going to put, that student will put their showcase work. They reflect. When you put something in there, particularly with some of the ePortfolio templates and systems they have now, there is an easy way, a format, a field for the faculty to comment on an artifact and for the student to reflect on that artifact, that paper. Before they started, they reflect. After they started, they reflect. And at the end of a course, they write a reflection. And then that takes them to the next level.
So what I learned in writing this paper, you're writing about what you learned, you're reflecting on it, and it consolidates that learning.
And it's not only the good. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Or what I learned when I taught this class last, and what I'd like to change.
Absolutely.
In fact, in our portfolios, we have students include a cover letter that explains how they think their writing improved during the course of the semester, and that is very interesting to read.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the term e-portfolio. Can you tell us what that is, as opposed to a portfolio?
Well, I have both, and right now my print portfolio is about 4 volumes long. I have everything in there, from my graduate work, my thesis, and my research, discs from some of my multimedia I produced. And then when I was working, as I work, I'll put like my year-end report, things that I've accomplished at work. 4 volumes. So if I go out on a job interview, I'm not going to pack those 4 volumes. And it's more difficult. It's fun to go through now and then, but if I have that electronic portfolio, everything's concise and it's easy to reflect, it's easy to review. If I'm interviewing for a job for you, which I did, you had access to my ePortfolio. And I'm really trying to get the reflection
the electronic
in there.
part of that. You're not saying it's necessarily on a website. You're saying that it's could be on a DVD, CD.
Yeah, you can use like an HTML editor and make electronic documents and make a format, a menu, to save it to a DVD.
So portability, a navigation system that gets you through the portfolio. Are there other advantages of doing it electronically over paper?
Well, it's easier for the reflection.
Okay.
It is much easier. An electronic portfolio, let's go back to the teaching part of it, is much easier for faculty to grade and comment and reflect on their students' paper.
Because the comments get actually attached to the piece itself electronically, as opposed to being a separate piece of paper.
It's easy.
Or a sticky note.
Yeah, well, the sticky notes.
There's another advantage that occurs to me with the electronic version, in that you can selectively give people access to parts of the portfolio. So you can say this part is public and this part is just for me. And then you have to have a login or something to gain access to that.
Do you know what else? I have heard some of the accreditation agencies also, or
hot on as a form of assessment. They just like to see that it's occurring.
That's right. It is documented that here it is. So before they hit your campus, you can send them examples, and they'll leave you alone individually. I've been through that, and I've seen the faculty that have the electronic portfolios that they could review ahead of time. They don't come around.
Okay.
So that's a good one.
Jean and Nancy, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Okay. If you have questions for either of our guests, you can post them on the TLT website at tlt.stanford.edu, where you'll also find the direct contact information for both of our guests today. I'm Graham Glynn, and look forward to seeing you on the next exciting episode of Innovations in Education.